Hello and welcome back, my dear children. After completing the first chapter of literature, now we will move on to a poem that is The Lotus, written by Toru Dutt. First of all, let's talk about Toru Dutt, who is the writer of the poem The Lotus. And children, she was an Indian poet who wrote in English and French. Much of her life was spent in two spacious garden homes in West Bengal. And these gardens shaped her keen sense of observation and her response to color. Now we move on to the brief description of the poem. Poem The Lotus is a sonnet, and sonnet means a 14-line poem. And the poet presents the lotus as the most beautiful flower through argument and reasoning. In the poem we see love being portrayed as the goddess of affection and love, whereas Flora being portrayed as goddess of flower. Love comes asking Flora for a flower that could be the undisputed queen of all flowers in the world, divided by supporters of rose and lily. And Flora picks the lotus for love, as it is a flower that combines the beauty of rose with the stateliness of the lily. The poet concludes that the lotus is queenliest flower. Now let's read the poem. Love came to Flora asking for a flower that would of flowers be undisputed queen. Poem The Lotus begins with a conflict between two flowers, that is rose and the lily. Love approaches the Flora, who is Roman goddess of flowers and spring, and asks her to create a flower who would undisputedly be the queenliest of all the flowers. The lily and the rose long had been rivals for the high honor, bards of power, had sung their claims. The rose can never tower like the pale lily with her Juno mane. But is the lily lovelier? Thus between flower fractions ran the strife in Psyche's bower. It says, great poets had written poems in support of either the rose or the lily. But, my dear children, rose never reached the level of the lily, as lily had a majestic appearance. Give me a flower delicious as the rose and stately as the lily in her pride. But of what color? Rose red, love first chose, then prayed. No, lily white, or both provided. And Flora gave the lotus. Rose red died, and lily white, the queenliest flower that blows. These lines explains that the goddess Flora is given a task of creating a flower as delicious as rose and also as stately as the lily in her pride. And finally, Flora creates a combination of both the flowers. And what was the combination? It was the lotus, which has beauty of rose and is tall as lily. I hope the poem is clear to you. You must have understood it. We are going to see the question answers and word meanings in the next video. Till then, take care and stay safe.